Hey friends! Welcome back to our channel.
I'm Casey.
And I'm Lexi, and if you're new to our channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're super happy you're here. Today we're just sitting in the sun,
It's really
snow.
bright.
There's like a ton of snow, but it's like kind of warm right now.
Yeah.
Sun.
It kind of
So
dumped in
we
the
had to
past
be
few
outside.
days randomly. Like it was 55 degrees and starting to feel like spring, and then out of nowhere we get a foot of snow. So naturally we had to vlog in it and be in our puffs.
Okay, so this past weekend was Valentine's Day, and it was super fun because we both hung out with our significant others, and it's just super fun to like do cuddly, cheesy, lovey stuff, whatever. But in the past, we have both felt times of loneliness when we haven't been with somebody on Valentine's Day, so today we just kind of wanted to talk about self-love and independence and just being the best version of yourself without anyone else.
Like you just don't need anyone. You can be good on your own, and it's important to learn that and know that and believe that before you're with someone, because it helps you love yourself better and love your significant other better, and overall self-love is just so important. So we know self-love is kind of turning into be a little taboo word, like I love myself, so I'm gonna be selfish and whatever, and that's like not really what we mean. We're talking about how to be okay in your own skin and by yourself and realize that you don't need anyone else to be happy, whether that's a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a best friend, your parents to be like your biggest support. Like you don't really need anyone to love yourself, and it's really important to learn how to love yourself.
Like all those people are just supplemental to growing as a person and becoming the best version of yourself. But I've been like reading this book, and it talks about how you can't like fully love someone else until you love yourself, because you're trying to ask them to love you completely when you haven't even done that yourself, which I'm like, whoa. And it's a lot harder said than done. Like some days it's just hard to like be nice to yourself, honestly. Like some days I'm just like, why do I look like this, or why am I feeling like this, or I don't know, loneliness or whatever.
I read this analogy one time that it's like you can't possibly pour out to others if your cup's empty. So you have to make sure your cup is full so you can pour out and love on others. And I kind of think that's what Lexi said. Like it's so hard to love others the way that they deserve to be loved and how they should be treated if you're neglecting all of your needs and don't love yourself.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of times in the past, I've found myself like my complete identity in whoever I've been dating. And I like realizing now that like once we were broken up and I was like, wow, like I am completely shattered, entire
Who am
piece of me
I?
is gone, like completely shattered. But that was because I had completely attached my identity to that person. Once they were gone, I was like, what am I now?
Mm-hmm.
But now I think it's important that I've grown and realized that this person is an addition to who I am, and they're supplementing my life in a different way than who, like just being who I am in my identity, I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think it's really important to root your identity in things that don't change. Like relationships change, circumstances change, jobs change. I try to root my identity in God and being God's daughter and finding my self-worth and knowing that God created me to be who I am. But also that's really hard for me sometimes because that's so much easier said than done. And I find myself being like, well, I'm a volleyball player, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a girlfriend. And truth is, like, I will always be a daughter, I will always be a sister, but like those things aren't what you should root your identity in. And relationships especially, because those, as we all know, are fleeting and don't always last, unfortunately. And so, I don't know, finding out who you are, finding an identity, finding something that you can, I don't know.
Things
It's
that
just
can't
hard.
be taken from you. Like, I am kind, I am caring, I am compassionate, like those kind of things that are like traits rather than physical assets, I guess.
Yeah, and it, like Lexi says, like everything, I think everything in life should be a plus, should be a bonus. And if it's something that takes away from your life and is negative energy or negative in any way, shape, or form, like
Get rid of
it. Like everything should be an addition. Like I think that friendships are one of the biggest pluses and additions, and relationships are huge additions to your life. And I think going through like the Valentine's season alone, it can feel like, wow, I'm really lonely, or whatever, and we've felt that. We've been there. It's like familiar.
Like everyone is happy except for me.
Yeah.
And that's stupid because you need to create your own happiness, and that is also a lot easier said than done.
I'm like, create your own happiness. Don't be sad. It's like when someone says,
That's
don't be
all.
anxious. I'm like, okay.
So one tip we have for like just self-love and growing in your own shoes is just like this has been really hard for me, but being comfortable with like just being alone, like just like being alone in my room or something, and I'm like, whoa, like I'm the person who likes social interaction and being with my roommates and whoever else, but just like taking that time to like read a self-care book, because that's what I love to do, and just light a candle and
Watch
like
a
honestly
show.
not do anything.
Yeah.
Like that is hard for me to do because I'm also a person who doesn't like a lot of downtime, but I think it's been really helpful in helping me grow as a person just by myself, because that's not like anybody else is contributing to that time. So
And being alone doesn't necessarily mean you need to be lonely. Like, sometimes when I'm alone with my thoughts, it's either the scariest thing ever because there's a lot of negative thoughts and bad things, but a lot of times there's things that I need to work through, and not necessarily bad things I need to work through. It's just like, wow, sometimes when I'm alone, I realize how thankful I am for my friends and how thankful I am for the circumstances I'm in. And I think being alone is something that I also have had to learn to accept and like I hate being home alone, okay? It is scary and I get stir crazy and I just have to leave. But like being alone, like there's never gonna be a time in your life where you're never alone, I feel like. I don't know. But it's just really important to be alone because at some point in life you will be alone, and it's important that you, should I say important one more time? I don't know what I'm saying. Being comfortable with being alone. Another tip that we think is a great idea for combating loneliness or like adding to your self-love is to find things that you really enjoy doing by yourself and doing them. For me, I did not really realize how much I enjoyed walking alone or running alone. Like, I love to be alone outside, going on walks or runs and enjoying nature, listening to music, listening to a sermon, podcast, whatever. And I think that a lot of really good thinking and processing happens when I'm alone, again, alone with my thoughts outside, and I really like going on walks alone. So I encourage finding something you enjoy and doing it.
another thing I love doing alone, it's not technically alone, but it feels alone, is like going to yoga, because even though there's other people in the room, I kind of feel like I'm just in like this bubble by myself on my mat, and like I'm not
Nothing
really
else
like worrying
matters.
about anyone else. And I don't know, I think that time is good because I try not to think about things, which is really hard for me because my mind's always just going, so I always challenge myself to like try to just like push those thoughts away and just be zen, you know?
Zen.
And yeah, so I think that's been a helpful thing that also helps with meditation and just calming my mind and helping my body too at the same time. So we really want to encourage you guys to find that thing you love, find what you identify yourself with that doesn't relate to other people. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
You know?
Whoa.
What describes you?
So the moral of the story is love yourself. You are the only you there is. And I know a lot of the times you might be thinking, well, I'm not this person, or I'm not doing this, or I don't look like this, or whatever. But none of that matters because you are the only you.
Hype yourself up, and if you won't, then you know we will, because we're always here to build you up and encourage you. And if you have any questions or want to talk to us about things that have helped us and stuff like that, we would love to talk to you and hear from you.
And you're awesome. So keep it up. Love yourself. Love
doing
others.
great.
You're doing great.
And if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.